Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, where nurses take control, break barriers, and build a future of financial freedom and career success. Whether you're burned out, ready to level up, or looking for the blueprint to thrive, you're in the right place. It's time to lead, grow, and win because your future starts now. Here's your host, Dr. Chichi.
Hello. Welcome to this episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. This is your friend, Dr. Chichi. Welcome back. This show is where we dive deep into the realities of nursing beyond the bedside. My mission is to empower nurses or anyone listening to take charge of their lives and reclaim their power emotionally, financially, and professionally through stories, education, and real conversation. I am here to have real conversations about the challenges and opportunities that come with the nursing profession. During each show, we will explore the stories, struggles, and success of nurses like you. Whether you're looking for ways to protect your well-being, take control of your finances, or build a future beyond the hospital walls, you're in the right place. This is a moment of no nurse or family left behind. So grab a cup of coffee, or if you're night shift, some extra caffeine, and let's get into it. The theme for today's episode is from burnout to breakthrough, risk recovery, and financial power. And for this episode, I have my beloved mentor. I love her. That lady is awesome. I have Dr. Ruth, and I'm going to introduce her in a few minutes. She is an amazing lady. Just to avoid long talks today, we're gonna just dive deep in so we can hear from her because she has a lot of information that will impact anyone that is listening. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth is a hardworking lady. She's my mentor. I'm proud to say that. She's a retired nurse. She retired from nursing at the age of 44 years. Man. So Dr. Ruth is a risk management expert with a demonstrated history of working in the financial industry. She's skilled in humanitarian assistance, retirement refinancing, income replacement portfolios, customer service, and financial education. She's a strong, informed information technology professional with a doctorate degree from Walden University. She's also an author, wow, actress, mental health advocate, activist, and a philanthropist. I mean, this lady, you're going to listen to her and your life will be changed, I'm telling you. Dr. Ruth will share her story. That's the goal. The goal for this episode is Dr. Ruth is going to share her story that led to her early retirement. And she's also going to educate nurses about risk management in their careers and lives, and also highlight the importance of financial literacy and planning. And she will also inspire nurses to take charge of their future starting today. So I have the honor of introducing my mentor, Dr. Ruth Ifediora. Dr. Ruth.
Good evening. How are you?
Wow. Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Let's
Wow.
get on it.
When I told you to come, I know you're always very busy. But when you told me you're going to be at the show, I was so excited. And we're
Wow.
just going to dive into, we're not going to waste any time, Dr. Ruth. Thank you so much for being here. So let
Oh,
me
wow.
ask you a question. What was your experience with burnout as a nurse?
Wow. To be candid, by the way, my name is Princess Dr. Ruth Ifediora. I live
Billionaire
in
princess.
okay? My friends call me Billionaire Princess, and that is how I like to be addressed. But anyway, Dr. Chichi, I thank you for what you do in the field of nursing. I thank you for bringing us up here. I thank you for your contribution. When it comes to burnout, burnout is a huge risk among nurses. There are several studies that have done over burnout. Okay. So for me, I did not experience burnout directly because nursing is my passion. I love nursing. I eat nursing. I breathe nursing. So I come to work already prepared, knowing that what is the worst that can happen is clock out and go home, right? But I've always have a work ethics where from higher, I always tell my manager my own expectation. I'll tell them I don't do overtime. I tell them I don't work extra time. But anything else you want me to do, it doesn't matter what it is. As long as I have the competency to do it, I will do it. As long as you will not call me for overtime, as long as you will not call me for extra time.
Wow.
Because I believe that is my $1 is not enough, my $2 is not going to be enough. So all I owe you is the moment I'm at that job. So because of that, burnout has never been a problem to me. But guess what? I have witnessed some of my friends who went through burnout, okay, due to either unable to express their expectations upon hire, unable to negotiate, unable to say what they can and what they cannot, especially when they are called to overtime, because the institution is designed when someone is fired, for example, and they cannot replace that person. Now, what do? They will force you to do the work of two people and you still pay one. All right.
Yeah.
So I've seen my friends who are so frustrated. And sometimes all I do is to offer them emotional support. Because if you look at it, the foundation is the problem. The foundation is inability to do what? Convey your expectation as you're coming in as an employee. Another thing that I have witnessed for those that have experienced burnout is this. Some of my colleagues, they are so wonderful, but don't read the policy and procedures of the farm or the facility they are coming to work. And based on that, when something happened, now they are in defense. You see this? They're in defense instead of being in offense because of what? They didn't know. Now it becomes, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know is not an excuse. What does it do? It increases their stress level. And when their stress level goes up, guess what? Quality of service goes down. And of course, this nurse will experience burnout, which some of them will take it to go to their houses. It becomes what we call transfer aggression. Okay. So I have not personally have a burnout. I have not experienced that because my mind was made up before I got there. But I've worked with a lot of nurses who have experienced burnout, either because of family issues, because of organizational issues, because of leadership issues, because of incompetencies, not because they cannot become competent, but because they refuse to play along and learn the basic things they need to function in that place.
Yeah. What you said is right, but also I think it depends on the department. It depends on the department that you're working. There's a department that you work in, then there's no way you can avoid it because of this. Just like bedside, you're having, let's say you have, you're understaffed and you have to take care of a lot of patients, I think the department plays the major role. And then, like you said, leadership and all of that stuff. Right. Thank you so much for that. See, I think what I can get from the discussion so far is depending on where you work, set the standard early so nobody will be on your case. So thank you so much for that.
Set the standard early.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you come in, learn the fundamentals.
That's right.
Because, as an example, I live in Texas. Texas employment is at will.
Wow.
You have within 3 months to either work out. So if you know the standard and say, I walked in here, I'm not going to be able to take care of my children if I work here. I'm not going to be able to take off. I'm not going to be able to leave my job the way I want. Then it's better you quit and resignation based on the law that says what? Employment at will. Another thing is knowing what your state law says can reduce your burnout, if I may say. And these are the examples I give to the nurses that works. I said, you come to work, you have 25 patients to take care of. You clock in. No, 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 no. What does the law say in terms of what? In terms of safe harbor. Because if you clock in and take those patients, now what it means that you have accepted the patient. And because you accepted the patient, you have the role, sole responsibility to provide quality care, which comprises of safe care, that must be timely, that must be what? Perfect, to the best of your ability. That care must be patient-centered, okay? And you cannot shortcut the service you give to this patient. But if you don't want to take that responsibility and you walk in and they give you that responsibility that increases your stress level and contribute to your burnout, guess what? Invoke safe harbor. Invoke safe harbor and go through the process. You're better off to be on the offensive than to find yourself in the defensive.
I think it's also good to know what the law says, because sometimes some nurses are scared to speak up for themselves or
Yep.
advocate for, they're busy advocating for the patient, but they don't have time to protect themselves, because when they don't protect themselves, it's even hard for them to protect the patient. So, Dr. Ruth, so when did you
Yes.
realize that it was time for you to transition out of direct nursing practice?
By the way, I've been out of direct nursing practice for the last more than 13 years now.
Wow.
Okay. I've been on the table. They said, be at the table, right? If you don't see a seat at the table, do what? Bring your own seat. When you come to the table, don't sleep. Okay? So I've been out of direct clinical care from over 13 years. But here's the thing. I still play the nursing politics to help them navigate through the process.
Wow.
I already realized that in order for me to achieve my full potential in nursing, I need to be at the policy table. Why at the policy table? Why was engaging in higher education that focuses on professional performance? Knowing that the lower level of education in nursing focuses on nursing practice, but professional practice is not really emphasized area. So I went into higher education so I can have authority focusing on professional performance.
Wow.
So when I did that, I started networking. All right. I started networking. I started giving back to the community. Why giving back to the community? They said, show me your network. I'll show you your net worth. So when I started hanging out with some people who used to be nurses, but they walked away from clinical practice. From clinical practice, they transited to what? They transited to, what do you call it? They changed career. Let me borrow that. They changed career, right? So when I find those people, I started studying their lifestyle. I started, evaluating their life compared to what I have right now. I decided to say, it's time for me to model their lifestyle. So as I'm trying to walk up to them, my mindset changed because now I have new knowledge. Okay. I have new knowledge because they said that the illiterate of the 21st century is for those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So I started unlearning up to 45% of what I know, because the evidence shows that I can unlearn more than 45% of what I know, or inherent knowledge, and relearn. So I unlearn and relearn. As I'm relearning, that's when I knew there are other things I can do outside of what focusing on caring for someone that is sick. So I decided to step aside, continue to support those who wants to be there, but do what? Step aside to educate the healthy being. I was an educator, right? To educate the healthy person so that when they come on this side, they will also meet quality nurses who I'm fighting day and night for them to have a quality environment to do what? Discharge their services.
Yeah. Dr. Ruth,
Well,
there are
just
two. Mhm.
knowledge.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Well, just a change in knowledge that precipitated the transition from nursing profession to risk management, financial services, financial education.
All right. Before I ask you the next question, I like the two quotes that you just mentioned. Show me your net worth, right? And I will
Show me
show
your
you your network.
network.
Okay, show me
Show
your
me your
network.
network, and I will show you your net worth.
Wow, wow, that's powerful. And then there's another one you said the illiterate of the 21st century
Yes,
is
it is for those who cannot unlearn, relearn. Okay, so I will get it to you before we close.
wow.
The exact author. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me says the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is by Ivan Toffler. Okay.
That's amazing. I mean, just those two statements or two quotes kind of covers everything. And that's why we grow. That's why we grow. Man, Dr. Ruth. All right. So let me ask you this. What did your faith or personal, I know you like God. So what did your faith or personal resilience shape your recovery and decision to retire early? You just answered that, right? And then what inspired your transition into risk management and being a financial professional?
I kind of combine the two.
Yeah.
Faith level is already high. So it doesn't, because if you can survive and function in that environment where you work so hard, you have to work hard for everything, not because we lack the resources, just because we lack the leadership to control the resources. So resilience is not a problem. Okay. So, but my faith, which I'm a Christian, I read Bible. My Bible said I should walk when it's day, because night cometh when no one will.
Woo!
So based on that, when I find the information, the new find knowledge, and I feel that in order to function to the highest potential, remember, I don't know if you could record the definition of mental health, right? As a mental health advocate, the World Health Organization have 4 elements of what is contained in mental health. Ability of an individual to function to their full potential, to be productive, to respond to stress normally, and to contribute to their community. So when I looked at the new knowledge, I said, no, if I have to transit to this knowledge, new knowledge, okay, it's going to help me to fulfill this. And being a mental health advocate, okay, I think this is the best area for me to go. Now that I'm here with my faith in God, because he said, you can do all things through Christ who strengthened me.
Philippians, yep.
What I needed was to pray and say, God, this is what I want, because he said, I've given you power to make choice. And I made the choice, and I said, God, lead me this way. Okay. So my faith played a lot of role in my transition, knowing fully well that he has promised me. He said, before I was formed, you already knew me. And you know, my name is Ruth, right? If you read the book of, what does it say? Where you die, I will die. Your people shall be my people, right? Okay. So we have always been designed to be at the apex, to lead people, to influence people positively. So since I have that reassurance from God that I can do all things, He has given me the power. And He said, no weapon fashioned against me will prosper. Guess what? Took off. So
So it's your preaching now. You know, I wanted to ask you about mindset shift, but you're already covering it.
Mindset. No, the mindset have shifted long ago. Jordan was waiting for the environment to allow it to thrive. Without the mindset shift, I would not even be in America. Because your entering plan to come to a place that is unknown, okay? It's unknown. It's not, you don't know what it is. You're just assuming you're coming based on other people's reports. You have not even seen your own report. So now here you are. So the mindset have changed. It's just that it has been looking for an environment that allows it to thrive. And because they say the easiest way to win is to have the right mentors and the right coaches.
That's right. I like that one.
Well, I found the right coach. Guess what? It was a game over.
So in other words, let me ask you, for nurses, right? How can nurses understand, or how can they understand financial freedom? Or what can you tell them so that they can understand everything about financial freedom? Because, some people clock in, work 7 days a week, go around the same cycle every day. I know we talked about mindset shift. What can you tell them to help them about getting more knowledge about financial freedom?
So thank you for that question.
And then you can talk about risk management with that too.
Thank you so much for asking that question.
Thank you.
So what we have identified is there's so much gap that what they say there is emotional intelligence. Okay. There is physical intelligence, financial intelligence, academic intelligence, right?
Yes.
Now, academic intelligence is being modified in the classroom. Emotional intelligence is being modified based on everyday interaction with each other. Physical intelligence, where you are able to, have relationship, maintain, take care of your own self. And the question is, who takes care of financial intelligence? If you want to go to school to become a doctor, go to medical school.
That's right.
If you want to become a nurse, you go to nursing school. If you want to be a pharmacist, they said, go to pharmacy school. If you want to be engineer, go to engineering school. If you want to understand money, where do you go? Finance. What we have taught for several years is that a CPA, accountant, those are the people that nurses have to rely on to talk about their finance. But unfortunately, Robert Kiyosaki said, and I quote, he said, money is good, but the most powerful thing is financial knowledge. Unfortunately, financial knowledge is not part of the classroom curriculum. And being that all the nurses are product of the classroom, right? So we encourage nurses to increase their financial intelligence. They have to take ownership of their own finance. They have to understand this money I'm making today, how does it work? And how can I make it work for me? But in the course of interaction with most nurses, what we've realized that they hand over their financial discussion, decision making to someone else to drive, instead of them being at the driver's seat of their own finance. So for nurses, I will encourage you, if you're hearing my voice, is for you to aspire to increase your financial literacy. When you increase your financial literacy, it's going to translate to you increasing your what? Your financial intelligence.
Right.
And in such situation, when that happens, you are able to make what? Financial decisions that will result in your financial freedom. In other words, if you don't increase your financial intelligence, you can never achieve financial freedom. That's why they said, money without financial education is money soon gone. Because, yes, you make the money. That's why risk management comes in.
That's right.
In the United States and Canada, there are two portfolios that exist: investment portfolio and protection portfolio. Everybody's assumed to know investment to some level, but there's still gap in protection portfolio. And especially, I talk about nurses because that was what I know before, right? Most nurses are not exposed, are not privileged to the role of protection portfolios that are used in risk management to build wealth. Most people think, excuse me, most people think that doing one job, two jobs, three jobs will create wealth for them. And they do it. As they do those two, three jobs, you see how you translate to what? That burnout that we mentioned. So in order for us to reduce burnout, we encourage nurses from this time going on, you need to engage in what? Financial literacy. You need to increase it. You need to seek for it as you seek for every other thing. Because until you increase your financial intelligence, you're not going to achieve financial freedom. And
That's
to achieve
powerful.
financial freedom, you must manage your risk. It does not matter how long or how old you are. You must do what? Manage your risk. Because the reason you clock in to do one or two jobs, which is a good thing, you're a hero. You're taking care of people in their vulnerable state, right? Where they cannot take care of themselves. But as a nurse, as you're taking care of those patients, think, reflect, stop and say, what if it's me that's on this bed at this moment? If they flip the table around and I'm the one lying down here, what do I have to replace my income? Who is going to take care of my lifestyle? So if nurses can engage in a deep reflection to know that they should be in charge, take ownership of their own financial education. Hear me out. I said education. I'm telling you, they will be on their way to achieving financial freedom.
Wow. You already, I wanted to ask you the risk nurses often overlook, but that you already answered it.
Yes.
Not educating themselves financially.
Yes.
And then I wanted to ask you, what can nurses do to improve their financial situation? You said they need to go crave and acquire financial literacy.
That is it.
Yes.
That's the first thing first. Education is always the first step in changing any situation you find yourself. Some people pray, God give us wisdom. He has already given us the wisdom to take charge. That's why he said, before you were formed, I know you. So instead of you praying for financial freedom, which will never happen, if you want to go through the route of prayer, because if you pray, God give you 10 million today,
You can manage it.
that's miracle. How do you manage the 10 million so you can replicate the 10 million next tomorrow? That's why that statement I made before. Money without financial education is money soon gone.
Wow.
So number one is financial literacy. And you, the nurse, must look for it. If you wait for it to come to you, sorry. And for you to start, you want to know the laws, word by word, what the laws says in the state where you are. So that when you're going to ask somebody, when you're going to hire somebody, when you're going to engage somebody, you already know the right questions to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what the law says, and you're going to get your information from social media, Facebook, YouTube. That is, you just take that information, you run. Sorry, by the time you know it is too late.
Wow.
Okay. So number one on your basket, sorry. Number one is what? Financial literacy. You have to increase it. You have to seek for it. Because if you get it, it will increase your financial intelligence, which aid in what? Sound financial decision.
So, in other words, how can someone balance self-care while building that financial goal? Like any goal that they have financial, let's say they started educating themselves, reading books, and trying to be financially literate. How would they balance self-care while building these financial goals that they have?
Good question. The truth is this: financial health is part of your self-care.
Mm.
It's not away from the self-care. You can never achieve no self-care without financial health. It's not possible. So part of the element or the tools that you need to add as part of your self-care is financial education. So they are not away from each other.
Mm.
When you see somebody say, I'm engaging in self-care, oh, they want to eat good food, they want to go to the gym, they want to, meditate in one corner. Guess what? If you don't have money, you can't eat good food. If you don't have money, you can't go to the gym unless you do it in your house. But in your house, if you don't pay your rent, you can't even be inside the house.
Wow.
So do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it boils back to what? How do I manage my $1 so that I will make my $1 to work for me? That as a nurse, I'm working so hard right now to take care of people. But when my capacity to take care of people is not there, I have something to replace that capacity so that my lifestyle will be maintained. So they are not separate from each other. It's a component of self-care.
Mm. Mm.
You must, again, seek for it and found it.
So, what's one financial mistake you often see nurses make?
Oh, if we start that one, we'll not finish it today. But let me go straight to the one they call retirement portfolio.
Oh, yeah. Some nurses, after they retire, go back to work.
In United States, they used to have what they call defined benefit plan.
Hmm.
This is a plan, a pension plan or retirement plan that guarantees how much money you will be paid once you retire. But at some point, the government decided to create alternative. It wasn't a retirement plan. It was meant to be alternative. That's not alternative. It's supposed to be a complementary to the retirement plan called defined contribution plan, which says what you can contribute, you know it. You don't know what you're going to pay when you retire. But it's cheap because the government, the law, took the responsibility from the employer and handed it over to the employee.
Hmm.
And most nurses, these are not part of our curriculum, right? It's not in the curriculum of nobody or anybody. So now most organizations in America, to be precise, have eliminated the defined benefit plan and absorbed and started defined contribution plan. But so many nurses are still thinking that what they have is defined benefit plan. So most of them never logged into the account. Some people don't even sign up because they don't know what it is. Some sign up, they don't know how to look at it because who helped them sign up is a human resources who also somebody helped them sign up. Okay, so the emphasis is you're putting money aside. When you retire, there's money here for you to retire. But what they did not know that the day they retire and the market goes, and guess what? they can lose everything.
Mm.
And will not hold your employer accountable. That is why this Nurses Week, we are focused to break down this thing so they can understand. But that is one of the biggest mistakes I did.
Mm.
I had what they call 403B. And luckily for me, then I was working, my organization also have defined benefit plan. Okay, which I didn't understand. Is now I began to, when I find the new knowledge, my eyes open.
Wow.
What? I've never known what that 403B. I never know what they're talking about. All I know that my company is matching. When I find out that I am solely responsible for that account, you know what I did? I decided to switch over to what they call 7702 IRS code and 575 IRS code.
Wow.
That allows me to take control of my retirement because it's guaranteed I will retire. So, remember, it's the same IRS code that gave the 401, 403B that I have.
Mm.
I decided to go to them, read more about the 7702 and 575, and I switch over to that because in that, I am responsible, I am control, and also the government have given me tax benefit to utilize that.
Wow. Wow. That is powerful. So let me ask you, what does taking charge mean to you? Like you just mentioned it, but what does it mean to you?
It means to me that in the time of stress, in the time of crisis,
Mm.
I would never compromise my financial status.
Wow.
I would never compromise my lifestyle. That's what it means to be in charge. That's what that means. It's as simple
Mm.
as in the time of crisis, I'll be a leader. In the times of emergency, I'll be a leader. I don't have to pick and choose. Oh, do I have to afford to eat morning breakfast? Or do I have to choose to buy shoe for my daughter? Or do I have to choose to buy gas in my car? Because I am a leader in times of crisis.
Wow. So if a nurse wants to pursue financial independence, right? What's the first step they should take?
The first step is to find the right mentor and the right coach. That's the first step. The easiest way to achieve your dream is to find the right mentor, right coach who are competent and have walked that path for years. There's a difference when you read a book
Mm.
and you see somebody who have read those books and they have been in that environment for so many years. Not career, not classroom or certificate. No, 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 no. These are people who have, it doesn't matter their profession, but they have decided to champion their own financial freedom. And they have done it for years. And that's why I get excited. I tell people, I'm a competent financial professional. And I
Wow.
can mentor and coach anyone. That's your first step. When you find that, then through their guidance, you begin to explore and identify new knowledge, hidden things that you don't know. Then based on that knowledge, you can make a sound financial decision.
So Dr. Ruth, looking back, right? What's one decision you're most proud of?
Oh my goodness. One decision I'm most proud of is that one, I pray for financial freedom.
And you too.
God send me the mentor and open my eyes to know that this is the right mentor. I made that decision right quick without engaging in analysis paralysis.
Ooh, what did you just say? Analysis paralysis?
Analysis without thinking. Let me think twice. Oh, let me see. Oh my, no, 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 no. I refuse to engage in analysis paralysis and procrastination. So that decision to know that this is the right mentor.
Wow.
I need to follow him. I need to avoid distraction. That's the best decision I've made in my life.
So, Dr. Ruth, I think on that note, let me ask you this. This is very important. So, what advice now will you give to a nurse or somebody watching who feels stuck and underpaid, but afraid to pivot?
You cannot move from point A to point B if you don't change the knowledge that is here. Okay? So such nurse who is thinking of moving, but they're stuck because they can't make that, we call it adult decision. It's hard to make an adult decision when you lack the knowledge. So what I would say to that nurse is, reach out to Dr. Chichi Okoli. Tell her, I've been thinking of a way out, but I didn't know. I've listened, I've watched this video. How can I be mentored and coached? How can I start the journey of education, financial literacy? Because somebody may convince you and you say, oh, let me go to the other hospital or the other nursing home or the other home health. It's all governed by the same law, just to let you know. What makes the difference is, again, the knowledge. What you're willing to unlearn and be willing to learn. But it have to be discipline. Discipline is the ingredient. You have to be coachable. You have to be willing to let go of some associations that does not bring value to you. You have to be willing to sleep. Maybe if you're sleeping 8 hours, maybe you can take 1 hour just to add value to the knowledge you have. So my advice is, no matter how strong, I know it's not easy. If I tell you it's easy, it's a lie. But can you do it? Yes, you can. If you can do and practice nursing in America and Canada, there is nothing else you cannot do.
Yes.
Until you, or as long as you made up your mind and your belief system is strong, you can do all this through Christ who strengthens you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this final question. Well, it won't be the final question. It will be, what message do you want nurses to hear loud and clear?
What message? We already said it.
You said it. Emphasize on it.
Of your finance. My fellow colleagues, I retired from nursing when I was 44 years old. Why? I decided to write my own retirement age. And I decided to demonstrate to people that if you want to change, you can change. But you have to take one step. You have to believe in yourself. So please, I beg you, take charge of your finance.
Yes.
Do not hand over your financial decision to an accountant, to a CPA, to financial advisor, to business analyst. I didn't say these people are not good. I have them in my house, under my roof. I said, get the knowledge and hire them to do that work for you. I didn't ask you to do their work, but get the knowledge, hire them to plan with you. And when they refuse to do what you want them to do, you have the capacity to fire and hire the person. They have the right competency that you need. But how can you identify competency when you don't even know what you're looking for? So taking charge through education first. Yes, you can. That's the first thing first.
Wow, 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 wow. Man, Dr. Ruth, you are amazing. So I like to ask these questions towards the end, right? What is your favorite self-care ritual?
Okay. My favorite self-care ritual is to drink water.
That's good.
I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink spirit. I don't drink wine. I drink water.
Water. Awesome. No wonder your skin is glowing. All right. So, one word to describe your professional journey. Just one word to describe your professional journey.
Amazing.
Ooh, how did I know you were going to say that? All right, let me get your favorite Bible verse or motivational quote. I mean, you've given us a lot of them.
I'll give you a lot. There's no favorite Bible verse, but the one I love so much.
What about motivational quote?
Motivational quote.
Mm.
So let's go back to the Bible side. There's
Okay.
something I did not say, and I like to say it all the time. Is there's a place in the Bible say, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wickedness, I will answer from heaven.
Ooh.
He didn't say if my people who are called by my name can gather to worship somebody. No, that's not what he says.
Shall humble themselves and pray.
Another one I love so much is this. He said, train up a child in a way he will go.
Mm-hmm.
When he grow up, he will not depart from it.
Wow.
Second part said, train them that a lender, or let me go to the right word. He said, a borrower will be a slave to a lender.
Wow.
Anytime you find yourself trying to borrow something from somebody, especially money, remember that you have made yourself a borrower and you remain a slave to a lender for the rest of your life. The third one is arise. I know you look for one, but now you
That's
don't find.
fine. Keep it going. Keep it going.
The third one is arise and shine, for the light has come.
Yes.
You cannot be lying on the bed you're expecting to see the light. You have to arise. You have to wake up first in order to see the light. So as a nurse, if you want to change your financial world, you have to wake up. You have to be angry in your spirit. Then wake up and say, God, I want to see this light. And my favorite quote is this. When people are driving to the north, find out the purpose of their driving over there. Because if they're going to the wrong direction, you join them. You can never get to your destination.
Wow.
But if you know what is your purpose and your destination, where you want to get, it doesn't matter how long it takes. As long as you persevere, as long as you stand strong,
And be consistent.
fail enough.
Wow.
Fail enough. What did they say is fail? First attempt in learning, right?
Wow.
So
So
you
repeat
have
that again.
fails first attempt in learning.
Wow.
Fail enough to pass. And I came up with that definition of a pass. What is pass? I tell people that progressive attempt with sustainable success.
Progressive.
Attempt with sustainable success.
Wow.
So fail enough to pass. But if you're afraid of failure, my fellow colleague, my nurse is out. We celebrate this week for you because of the work you do. If you're afraid of failure, sorry, you will never win. You can never see success.
Wow.
Say and a quote, failure is not opposite of success or pass. Failure is your pathway to success.
Wow, Dr. Ruth. All right. So let me ask you this one. Coffee, tea, or smoothie?
Smoothie.
Wow, that's good. How do you like it? Green smoothie or what?
Oh, banana. Is that what?
Vanilla. Okay.
Yes, that's
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So, Dr. Ruth, how can you be reached? Like, you've given us this wealth of knowledge. Someone might say, you know what? I need to talk to this lady. How can you be reached?
okay. So let me tell you. Hold on for me. Okay. I can be reached through my Facebook page. Okay. Ruth Ifediora. I can reach through my phone 469 487 3469. I can also be reached via my email royalstarleadership@gmail.com. And I would like you to actually reach out to me. You can reach out to me through Dr. Chichi Okoli. I am looking for nurses to mentor, to coach, to let them know that it's possible to bring your own seat to the table and create the financial space that you want to have.
Good, good.
Doesn't matter the level where you are. I can take you to a level that 5 years from today, you will look back and you say, thank you, I made that decision. Nothing is my passion, but I find my purpose.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruth. When you contact Dr. Ruth, just tell her, take charge with Dr. Chichi, or Dr. Chichi referred you, okay? All right. After hearing Dr. Ruth's story and all her words of wisdom, right? I think we need to ask ourselves a question, and the questions are, am I managing my risk or just reaching or just reacting to them? Am I managing my risk or just reacting to them? And then what is one step I can take today to protect my health, my career, or finances for the future? And if something happens today and you're not able to work, how long can you sustain yourself? Very, very important. Thank you, Dr. Ruth. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruth, for sharing your great tips and great information. It inspired me, and I know it did for anyone watching. So if you enjoyed what you heard today, I encourage you to share the link of this show to your friends, to your colleagues. Someone's life will be changed today. And if you want to reach me, if you want to contact me, if you want to get information about financial education, email me at takechargewithdrchichi@gmail.com. takechargewithdrchichi@gmail.com. In our next episode, we have Nena, a board-certified nurse practitioner, integrative health educator, health and wellness content creator, founder Beyond the White Coat podcast, and Nota Health. She's been a nurse for 24 years and a nurse practitioner for 7 years. And she'll be here to share her own burnout story and how she took charge of her life as an entrepreneur. I know she will inspire you. You don't want to miss it. Okay? So that wraps up today's conversation with Dr. Ruth on From Burnout to Breakthrough, Risk Recovery, and Financial Power. I hope this episode had given you an insight, inspiration, and at least a moment to feel seen in your nursing journey. So if you found this episode helpful, please share it. Share it with your friends, fellow nurses, or anyone, or leave a review. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. I would love to hear from you too. So email me at takechargewithdrchichi@gmail.com. All right. If you have any questions, like I said, email me or send me a message at takechargewithdrchichi@gmail.com. Remember, you are more than your job title. You deserve financial security, work-life balance, and a career that fuels you, not just drains you. Until next time, take care and keep advocating for yourself as much as you do for your patients. Like I said, share this episode with your friends and colleagues. Bye for now, and see you on the next episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi.
Take Charge with Dr. Chichi is a brand of Sparkling Star Development Strategies LLC. The information provided is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or medical advice. Financial services are offered independently by Dr. Chichi in accordance with applicable licensing and regulatory standards. Thank you for watching.